Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked away from a conversation and hours later realized you were played? Not tricked, not lied to. Played like a puppet whose strings you never saw, until it was far too late, your energy drained, your thoughts rewired, and worst of all, you smiled the whole way through, thinking it was all your idea. That's not coincidence. That's control. And the ones who do it best, they don't raise their voices. They don't need to. They study people like a game of chess. They manipulate without mercy. And by the time you feel the loss, they've already won the next move. Now listen carefully, because what I'm about to show you is not for everyone. This isn't self-help. This is psychological warfare. You either learn to use it or forever be used by it. Because out here, the world doesn't reward the most honest. It rewards the most aware. Let's begin. There's a reason ruthless people seem so effortless. They understand something most people never learn. Truth doesn't matter. Control does. You think honesty builds trust? Wrong. Framing does. Let me give you an example. A woman walks into a boardroom. She's late. No apologies. No fluster. Just walks in like she owns the place. The others? They glance, whisper, wait for her to explain. But she doesn't. Instead, she sits, makes eye contact with the CEO, and says, "I need 10 minutes of your time after this. I have something that'll make your competitors nervous." Suddenly, her lateness isn't disrespectful. It's powerful. She controlled the frame. She didn't explain her absence. She redirected their attention to what she wanted them to focus on. This is hack number 1. Control the frame. Always. The ruthless don't explain themselves. They define the room. And here's the dangerous truth. People don't follow logic. They follow energy. If you walk into a situation already owning the narrative, others fall into your rhythm. This isn't just confidence. It's social hypnosis. Most people will never spot it. They'll just feel compelled. So ask yourself, do you walk into rooms adjusting to others, or do others adjust to you? That one shift will either make you prey or predator. Now let's go deeper, because hack number 2 is even more unsettling. It's something every skilled manipulator uses, whether in love, business, or war. It's not charm. It's not flattery. It's mirroring pain. See, humans don't trust perfection. They trust what hurts. The ruthless understand this, so they don't present themselves as flawless. They show wounds, but only the ones that benefit them. Let me explain. A political candidate gives a speech. He talks numbers, promises, plans. People nod politely. Then he shifts. He tells the story of losing his brother to addiction. He pauses, breathes. His voice cracks just enough. And in that moment, the audience leans in. Why? Because pain makes people drop their guard. It says, "I'm like you." But here's the twist. That story? It's rehearsed, polished, weaponized. This is not vulnerability. It's strategy. The ruthless manipulate through empathy. They don't ask you to trust them. They let you feel why you should. Your brain wants facts. Your heart wants connection. The manipulator bypasses both and gives you a reason to believe, not a reason to think. If they're good, you'll never see it coming. You'll say things like, "I don't know why. I just feel like I can trust them." That sentence, it's the sound of your mind being bypassed. And if you don't learn this, you'll keep handing your loyalty to anyone who makes your soul feel seen, regardless of their intent. Don't be the one crying over betrayal you could have predicted. If only you knew what to look for. Most people never learn these tools because they believe in fairness, in decency, and they should. But belief without awareness is suicide. You can be good, you can be kind, but if you're blind, you're meat for someone else's strategy. Now, the deeper we go, the more uncomfortable it gets. Because manipulation isn't just about what you say, it's what you withhold. And in part 2, I'll take you inside the mind of someone who can make you beg for their attention. Without ever touching you, you think you're in love, you think they care. Wait until you see how silence can be a weapon sharper than any word. Keep listening. You've heard people say it. He just stopped replying. She went cold overnight. I don't know what I did wrong. Wrong question. Because when the ruthless use silence, it's not punishment, it's control. See, most people think power is in what you say. But the truly dangerous ones, the ones who can ruin your mind and still leave you wanting more, they know the truth. Absence creates obsession. It's not attention that controls people. It's withdrawal. Let me show you. You meet someone. They're charming, intense. They listen like you're the only soul in the world. Then, they disappear. No explanation. Just cold space. And your brain? It scrambles to solve it. Did I say something wrong? Did I seem too eager? You start questioning yourself, obsessively replaying every detail. And here's the kicker. That entire reaction, it's by design. This is hack number 3, the vacuum effect. Ruthless manipulators don't force you to chase. They vanish and let your mind do the chasing for them. Because your brain hates unfinished stories. And they know it. They give you just enough connection to spark craving, then starve you of it. And in that starvation, your imagination fills in the blanks. You start idealizing, romanticizing, convincing yourself it's your fault. It's not. It's a psychological addiction loop. One they've mastered. And it's brutal, because no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how strong your self-worth was before, it will mess with you. You'll think about them in the shower, in the car, before bed, wondering if they'll text, hoping they will. That's how the vacuum works. You get hooked on the silence. And once they return, you feel relieved, grateful. You reward their absence with even more loyalty. They didn't win you over with love. They won you with scarcity. That's not attraction. That's manipulation in its purest form. But it works, because you let the story go unfinished. So now, ask yourself, who in your life pulls away and makes you chase? Whose silence do you mistake for mystery, instead of the power play it truly is? Wake up. Let's take it deeper. Because now, we reach hack number 4. And this one is dark. It's called shifting the shame. The elite manipulators don't argue. They redirect. They make you feel guilty for even noticing the abuse. Here's how it works. Imagine you're finally brave enough to speak up. You say, "Hey, I feel like you've been distant lately. Is everything okay between us?" But instead of empathy, they frown, cross their arms, and reply, "Wow, I didn't think you'd turn into someone who questions everything I do." Or worse, "I've been dealing with so much, and you're making this about you?" In one move, you go from the hurt one to the attacker. Now you're the one apologizing. They don't deny the pain. They reframe it. They make your confrontation feel selfish, disloyal. Suddenly, you're ashamed for even feeling what you felt. This is manipulation through guilt. And it works terrifyingly well, because you're a good person. You don't want to be selfish. You don't want to hurt others. And they use that against you. That's why this hack is so effective. It's not about facts. It's about emotional sabotage. You stop trusting your instincts. You walk on eggshells. You internalize blame that doesn't belong to you. And worst of all, you still love them. Because now they've turned your own conscience into a leash. Let me be clear. This is not misunderstanding. This is not miscommunication. This is emotional warfare, and you've been drafted without knowing it. You are not crazy. You are being conditioned, and the only way out, you have to burn the script they handed you and write your own. The truly ruthless don't need to lie to win. They just make you doubt your own truth. They plant a seed of guilt and let it grow in the dark. But once you learn to recognize that shift, when the blame subtly lands on your shoulders, you start to see them, not as gods, not as geniuses, but as puppeteers holding a dying act. Because here's the secret. The manipulator is terrified of one thing, an awake mind. Because an awake mind asks questions, sets boundaries, walks away. And they can't control what walks away. You're beginning to wake up. And in part 3, it gets real. Because we're stepping into the final hacks. What happens when you not only recognize manipulation, but turn it around? You stop being the one who waits. You become the one they can't figure out. You become the strategist. And once you do, nothing can pull your strings again. There's a moment when everything shifts. Not outside, inside you. You stop asking, why did they do this to me? And start asking, why did I allow it? That's not blame. That's power. Because when you finally see manipulation not as mystery, but as mechanics, you stop reacting and start orchestrating. You become what they never saw coming, a strategist. And this is where we enter hack number 5, misdirection of identity. It's the most dangerous tool of all, because it doesn't target your thoughts. It targets your identity. The ruthless don't tell you who they are. They subtly reshape who you think you are. They plant words, slowly, repetitively, until you become the image they carved into your mind. You're too sensitive. You always overthink things. You're not like other people. You need me. Sounds harmless, right? It's not. It's hypnosis in disguise. Because if I can name you, I can claim you. The moment you accept their label, you start acting it out. You become easier to control, easier to bend, easier to shame. And here's what most people miss. They don't just trap you with negativity. They trap you with specialness. You're the only one who understands me. You're different from the rest. First, it feels good, feels intimate, exclusive, but it's not about love. It's about leverage. Because once they convince you that you're not like the others, you'll do anything to keep that position. You'll stay silent when you should speak. You'll bend when you should walk. Why? Because they've made your identity their property. That's the con. They didn't trap your body. They trapped your sense of self. But here's the turning point. Once you see the label, you can burn it. You don't have to be who they said you were. You can redefine yourself without their validation, without their approval, without their permission. That's the moment the game flips. You stop playing roles in someone else's script. You write your own character, one they can't manipulate, because you're no longer seeking approval. You're seeking clarity. You're not addicted to their affection. You're addicted to your own truth. That's when you become untouchable. Not cold, not cruel, just awake. And when you're awake, you see something terrifying and liberating at the same time. Most people aren't malicious. They're just unaware. They manipulate because they were taught to. Their love had conditions. Their worth was earned. Their survival depended on control, so they copied what worked. But now you know better. You don't have to mimic the tactics of the toxic to protect yourself. You learn them so you can rise above them. You can hold power without cruelty. You can create distance without guilt. You can set boundaries without turning cold. That's the art of psychological strength. It's not about becoming heartless. It's about keeping your heart safe from the ones who never earned access. Now imagine this. You're no longer the one who second-guesses every word. You're the one they can't figure out. They try their tricks, the silence, the shame, the labels, and they fall flat. Because you see them, you smile, you nod, you walk. And behind that smile is something they'll never touch again. Freedom. Freedom from craving. Freedom from performing. Freedom from pretending to be small, just to keep the peace. That's the transformation. And it's not loud. It's silent. Like armor. The kind of silence that doesn't beg. It commands. In the final part, we go deeper. This journey isn't just about protection. It's about power. The kind that can't be faked, can't be borrowed. The kind that makes manipulators back off. Without you ever raising your voice, you're not prey anymore. You're something else entirely. You've made it here for a reason. Not because you're curious, not because you're bored, but because deep inside, you've felt it. You've tasted the game, been played. And maybe, just maybe, you started to wonder if you were the one holding the cards all along. And now you know you were. They fed on your confusion, thrived in your empathy, twisted your silence into permission. But that version of you, the one who begged for clarity, who tried to prove their worth, who held on even when it hurt, that version is dead. And in its place, someone reborn in awareness. Someone with vision that cuts through lies like glass. You don't fear the manipulator now, you see them. And seeing is power. But let me leave you with something even deeper. Because if you stop here, you'll have knowledge. But if you embody this, you'll have dominion. Real power doesn't live in shouting or showing off. It lives in the subtle, The stillness in your eyes when someone tries to provoke you. The calm in your voice when others expect you to beg. The way you say no and mean it, that's power. Not because it controls others, but because it makes you untouchable. See, the truly dangerous don't manipulate. They don't need to. They're centered, self-fed, internally complete. They don't chase validation. They radiate self-respect. People wonder why they can't control you anymore, why you're not reacting, why you're not breaking. And the answer is simple. You no longer need to be chosen, because you've already chosen yourself. So here's the truth, and it will sting. Manipulation only works on the parts of you that are still seeking love from the wrong sources. But now, that hunger is gone, replaced by awareness, replaced by strategy, replaced by the still, quiet knowing, I am not here to be toyed with. And when you carry that energy, the players stop playing. They see you, and they feel it. That spine, that presence, that unspoken message. I am no longer prey. You are the storm behind the smile, the mirror they fear looking into. And when you walk into a room, they won't know why they're uneasy, but they'll feel it. You're no longer the one who gets manipulated. You're the one who rewrites the rules. Now take this energy and use it. Don't just watch. Apply it. Look around your life and ask, who benefits when I stay confused? Who profits when I keep shrinking? Who fears what I might become once I finally wake up? That's where your power begins. And if this hit something deep, if something cracked open inside you tonight, then you already know what to do. Red triangle pointed down, drop your thoughts in the comments. Red triangle pointed down, like this video if you felt it. Red triangle pointed down, subscribe, because this is just the beginning. And remember, power isn't something you chase. It's something you realize was yours all along. Now claim it.